Morning. Welcome to Word of Sunday Morning with Phyllis and Lee. Phyllis, what's the Bible verse for this morning?
Isaiah 9th chapter 6 verse. A child, Jesus, is born to bring salvation, bearing government on his shoulder. He is the title Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace, promising an end to oppression, eternal just rule.
Now, what does that mean to you?
That Jesus was born to save us.
That's all it means to you?
Yes.
The Prince of Peace. So wherever we go, he eases the pain, right? He brings comfort, right? Phyllis, I got a question for you before we deep dive into that. How do you feel about people saying that Jesus wasn't born through a Virgin Mary? Mary wasn't a virgin.
Um, it go back to what you believe, Lee. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. That's one thing I love about Papa God. He invites you, therefore he gives you a choice. He doesn't force himself upon you. He opened the door for you. So it's your choice if you want what he is willing to bless you with and give you.
And the reason why I said Philip is simple because, like I said, if you don't believe that Jesus was Mary was a virgin when he was Christ was born, how you believe that Jesus was a Prince of Peace, wonderful counselor, all those different things?
Well, the flesh can make you a hypocrite. Come on now. That's why they say you read the word, you study the word.
So, Philip, have you ever had a situation that you called on Jesus and he came and made everything that was rough smooth, made everything that was chaotic silence?
I believe this is my routine. Every morning I wake up every morning and me and Jesus have a talk. And you can say it's a prayer, you can say it's a talk, but I talk to him every morning because he didn't say there was not going to be trials and tribulations. You're going to go through something. But the key is being able to withstand whatever you got to go through so he can get you to the place where you need to be in this worldly world.
So, what do you need to be in this worldly world?
I don't know where. I'm still progressing work. But the key thing, in order to pass certain tests, he's going to put forth certain things, obstacles or trials and tribulations. Uh, People don't realize your trials and tribulations a lot of times are not for you. It's for people on the outside looking in to see what you've gone through. And you're not supposed to look like what you've gone through. Because why? Because you know God. You have a relationship with God.
Yes, and I believe that. Like the woman had the issue of blood. She was, man, she was following Jesus coming to town. All she had to do was touch the hem of his garment. She was made whole. So this is the thing for those. I told somebody the other day that this. I guess you say he's a non-believer, but I don't think he is. Sometimes people try to confess themselves and try to say if you're gonna go along with the foolishness, that you got different people telling different accounts of what Jesus did, all the miracles that he did, right? And they don't want to believe. Even the religious people back in the day, they knew the power that he had. And why did they go after him, Phyllis? Because why? Jealousy?
That.
And what else you think it might be?
It can be a combination of things. Intimidation, jealousy, prideful. It's a lot of things that, people don't, even though they know you're a good, decent person, people are going to be people, especially if they have vindictive, evil ways. So regardless of what you do, people going to be people. And like one lady told me, when people show you who they are, you need to accept who they are. Because the only person that can change somebody to turn from their wicked ways is God. In his prayer.
My grandfather used to say the same thing to me. People show you who they are, believe them. Phil, what gets me though when I think about it. I recall Leah at a young age. She said, "Dad, I don't want to be smart." I said, "Why? Why, baby?" She said, "Daddy, the smarter you become, the less you believe in God." And I thought about it. I said, "Man," I said, "Wow." So me and Benny was talking one day. Benny was a professor at Grambling before he retired. He said, "Lee, your daughter, she has a point, and she wasn't lying about that. But for a young age, man, she's pretty smart." He said, "When people start, they get that God syndrome. The smarter you get." He said, "Well, that's no God. I'm doing it all by myself." And I said, "Man," he said, "Lee, she's correct." And I had to take a step back. I said, "Wow, maybe that's what people be going through. I guess when they do things and things come out right, they figure that God had no part in that. God has a part in everything, whether it's good, bad, the ugly, all those things. Like you said, free will, free will." So, Phyllis, can you name an instance that when you called on Jesus, that He was there?
Oh, Jesus there every time. There was one instance. I was taking Madison to school, our youngest daughter, and some wrought iron long poles fell off this truck, and we're behind the truck. But there were 2 or 3 cars in front of us, and when I saw the poles land, I just said, "Jesus." I looked to the left, I couldn't get over. I looked to the right, I couldn't get over. And I just said, "Jesus, in your son Jesus' name, cover us, cover me and Madison." That car went over those rails. It sounded like it tore the bottom of that car up, but we kept going. I looked up in the rearview mirror. Every car to my left had stopped. Every car to my right had stopped. But we kept a booking.
You know what? And that's the thing too, Phyllis. People find it hard to believe that miracles happen, but be mindful. No matter what you're going through, we can guarantee you one thing: it's going to be okay as long as you make God a part of your life. That's the what-if guarantee. When you tell people about the miracles that you just came out of, Phyllis, why is it so hard for them to believe?
It's still a choice. They choose not. Do you think people believe anything that's good? Come on now. They believe something bad before they believe it's good.
And you're right. Because I remember my mother was keeping Madison, and it was snowing outside. So here we are in the truck. You told the children to buckle up, kids. Soon we pull out, wasn't even going fast. All of a sudden the truck started going side to side. Kids screaming, ah, everybody just screaming to the right. And I said, "Lord, have mercy." Because I could see the cars, like everything going in slow motion. When I said those words, "Lord, have mercy," the vehicle came to a standstill. I told the guy I worked at, James Pilot, that at work, he said, "Nah, that ain't true." I said, "Okay." Well, I was there. So, like I said, I was there, so I know what happened. I know when I called on Jesus, the vehicle came to a standstill. So why is it hard for people to believe, Philip? And they call themselves a man of God. You got preachers that sometimes don't believe certain stories. Why is that?
As I say, a man of God is still of the flesh. A man of God depends on who called him, because a lot of jokers around here could be calling themselves. I do believe that certain people are called by God to deliver His word. So, to me, that response He gave you, He probably wasn't the one who called himself, because people like that choose to believe what they want to believe. And if it's anything that's good that came out on the positive side, they choose not to believe it. You can't control nobody's beliefs when it comes to people like that.
You can't. But this is the thing, Philip. Sometimes I tell people all the time, if God has been good to you, don't be ashamed to give your testimony, because your testimony, like I said, is not for you, because you just came out of what they probably going through. Your testimony for those who are straddling that fence, say, "Man, how am I going to get out of what I'm in?" Why are people ashamed to say, "Jesus"?
I can't answer that for them, because I know I'm not ashamed.
Well, give me a guesstimation then, Phyllis.
I can't tell you what's going on in somebody's head. Only thing I can do is see and hear their actions. And then sometimes their actions don't even deserve a response. Because it's like you putting oxygen to the unnecessary fuel because God always show up and show out. They should get tired getting slapped in the face, but they're not.
So, fellas, I got one last question to ask you. How do you help somebody who's struggling, feel like all hope is gone, that Jesus has abandoned them? What kind of advice can you give that person, fellas?
First of all, you pray for that person. And depends on what they're going through. Some people deserve a action. Some people don't. Because sometimes when you say nothing or do nothing, it's more powerful than anything because you're doing something else. You're praying for them. Because a lot of times when we say or we do stuff, we put the flesh in it. That's why I say it's so important to, before you go to anybody, you pray. God will give you the discernment to lead you in what area you need to do. Sometimes you need to stand back, be still, and be quiet, and let God work. Sometimes God sends you to do the work. But therefore, I tell anybody, you seek God first before anything, whether it's good, bad, ugly, or pretty. You seek Him in all. And He will give you the discernment of whether or not to respond or not to respond.
Okay. Go with that. So, Phil, you got something to get a listen to take care of the rest of the week? Or was that it?
That was it.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, thank you for that, fella. Hey, thank y'all for listening to the What Up Sunday Morning with Fellas and Lee. Like I said, if you're dealing with certain things in your life, excuse me, you can't find anybody that you can talk to that can lead you in the right direction, sometimes just get on your knees by yourself in your car. Just ask God to say, God, whatever it is I'm going through, God, only you know what it is. How for me to get out of it, God. I'm depending on you to get me through. So, and like I said, God will do what needs to be done. You got to believe, like a woman at the issue of blood. You got to have that strong, undeniable faith. Next thing you know, say, wow, Lee Craft, you're right. You and Phyllis, y'all right. Man, ain't God good? God is great. We are trying to be good. So, with that being said, this is Lee Craft. This is our podcast, What If. If you have any comments or concerns, please email me at leecraftwhatif@gmail.com. Have a blessed day. And please make time to tell God thank you. Thank you, Phyllis.
Mm-hmm.